Oh look, we're talking about something related to this guy. Literally. Hello, we are the geeks and the giants, and yes, we're talking about, I guess, one of the most divisive shows. Unfairly divisive, I would say.
Um, I agree. Well, to be honest, when I saw did we do our trailer reaction for this on Facebook?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I was into it, but I was like, it's not gonna be the best show in the world, or it's not gonna be like up there with WandaVision, Loki, and you know, Captain America and the Winter Soldier one. Sorry, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I was like, okay, it's maybe it's not that bad. And that was my thoughts going into this movie. But how about you? How are you, Hazel?
I was interested. Like I'd never heard of like a She-Hulk or Bruce having this cousin. I mean, obviously, people have cousins. Just we never, at least I never heard of it. I'm just so long into them, so I'm speaking low because my roommate is sleeping.
All right.
All right.
Um, yeah. So I was interested though, because I was like, oh, okay, this is a different take. We get to, see things from like a different angle.
Hmm.
So I was really interested going into this.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say I was cautiously optimistic because I'm like, I like Hulks, and I like the storyline of the Hulk, but like I've never read She-Hulk before, so I'm like, I don't know what I'm getting into, really.
Yeah. And as the degenerate part of this channel, I did see sorry. I did see that the where she picks up the guy where she's dating. And I was
Yeah.
like, am I into tall girls, like really tall girls now?
Well,
I
it's like
think so.
that. That's like that one picture, right, of like the really tall porn star holding up like a
Um,
male co-star or something.
no, it was another female porn star, but
Yeah, no, yeah,
yeah,
another female, yeah.
yeah. But this time they changed it with like She-Hulk with the Daredevil.
Oh,
Yeah,
good
but
lord.
And
we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
yeah, and I'm interested to know how this show is divisive or whatever the word is.
Yeah.
Because the thing with me is like when I'm watching a show, like if I'm not watching it, I don't care. I'll like look up everything about it, whatever. But when I'm watching a show, I don't like ever know what other people think about it unless the person themselves directly tells me how they feel about it. So I don't know how the audience in general feels about shows that I watch.
Yeah.
Well, Enzo's mostly the one on the internet, so
Yeah, I've seen a lot of reactions to like, is this the end of the MCU? Other people saying this is the best thing. I'm somewhere in the middle. Not saying it's the worst, but also not saying it's the best. I'm like, it's good.
okay. I will say it's fun. The show is fun. Like,
Yeah.
is it levels
It
of
definitely was.
yeah? Is it on the level of like the shows that I've mentioned previously? No, but on its own, does it stand up and does it give you a good time? Yes. So like, I would say I'm also in the middle, but I don't hate the show. Well, I don't think it's the greatest thing, but it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Like, calm down. You
Um,
know?
but yeah, before getting into the plot, like, I was obviously not expecting like the Winter Soldier or Infinity War, but I was like, it might be as fun as Ant-Man.
Yes. There, I agree with that. Yeah, that's a good example of like a Marvel license not taking itself too seriously,
Yeah.
having fun with it, and pretty much breaking the tone of other serious Marvel movies or TV shows that came before it.
Yeah, yeah. And like getting into it, we are introduced to Jennifer Walters and her cousin Bruce Banner. Like, if you know the history, you're like, oh, yeah, I know he has a cousin. But if you don't, you're like, he has a cousin.
Right?
That's weird.
That was me.
And she's
Yeah, like I said earlier, I didn't know.
Yeah, same here.
that's fine. And then she's a lawyer, but her whole life is turned upside down when she gets into an accident, and Bruce has to transfuse his blood into hers.
No.
That's
Um,
not what happens.
Reminds-
they get into a car crash. She gets a cut on her hand. Bruce is bleeding, and the blood drips into her.
Oh wait, no, sorry, I'm comparing the comics for the show. Like I was going off of what the comics told me, but yeah, the blood gets into her and she gets the same reaction. Well, she doesn't get ungodly amount of gamma radiation, but she gets enough to transform into a Hulk.
And we do get to see that, like, oh, she passes out. She goes through some shit where, you know, some guys try to, you know, force themselves on her, and she loses it, and Bruce has to come in and save the day, because, of course, we don't want her to have blood in her hands.
Yeah.
It ain't that kind of show. And we get this whole training episode with her, and I was a little bit divisive on this one.
Yeah.
I love the chemistry between her and Bruce. I could see that it was like they are family. It does feel that way, but at the same time, I don't like it that they undermined like the powers of the Hulk, where it was a. I get it. They had to like carry on for plot's sake and timeline's sake, but the whole like she got it right away. You know, like, this kind of undermined the whole struggle that Bruce kind of went through.
Well, from what I know about She-Hulk, she is smarter than Bruce. So, like, the fact that she picks it up right away is like, that makes sense if we're sticking to the character. And, like, the character does break the fourth wall, too, so I'm like, that makes sense as well. That they're really sticking close to the comic. Sorry. Yeah, I corrected myself there. But,
It's okay.
I do like the fact that Bruce is like, hey, you are a Hulk, and we have to train you because you might hurt someone, and you don't even know it. This whole series kind of reminded me of like a PG version of The Boys, where it's like, oh, superheroes living in our society and how they interact with normal people.
It is very sugar coated, The Boys version. You know, like She-Hulk version of The Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I just wanted to say before we get too far away from it was I believe you had said, Enzo, that she didn't get like a lot of radiation or whatever. It was just enough to turn her. Bruce actually told her that she absorbed enough gamma radiation that a normal person would be dead.
Yeah,
but
because they have the same
Genetics.
Genetics that they can both cope with it the same way. But it's like one out of
how it also explains how like her version of the Hulk powers are different because she's a different person.
Yeah.
And I do like that where Bruce was trying to be like, this thing is dangerous. This thing is like, for me, I went through a horrible journey, and she goes, we're not the same person. I was like, huh. Okay.
Yeah, like he had two personalities, right? He had Bruce and he had Hulk, where She-Hulk is always Jennifer Walters. She just transforms.
Yeah. And I do like that the whole Hulk thing, there is a difference. Like, every Hulk is different, I guess. I'm not sure. I don't really delve in deep into the Hulk lore, but I'm guessing that's how it is.
Yeah. And I do like that they train on this island that was secluded by Tony Stark.
And the odd amount of bromance that Tony and Bruce had alone together.
Yeah. I mean,
within the blip.
You saw it in like Avengers beginning. You're like,
yeah, and then they made a bar. They carved their names into it. I was like, this is so cute. Like, I went like that while I was watching the show. I was like, this is kind of cute. And it's kind of sad to hear that Tony's gone. But.
Yeah. But its legacy still lives on in the MCU. But yeah, she tries to leave at one point because she's like, I have a life. I can't just throw that all away. I spent years in law school, and now that I have a proper job, I can't just throw years of learning away. And plus, I'm in debt because of my student loans.
Yeah. And I love this direction that they took. They were very on point. They they pretty much told the audience, "Hey, we're not a superhero show." Well, it is, but like we're not going in that route. Where she goes, "Well, that's not in my interest, being a superhero," and it's pretty much a show telling us, like, "Hey, this is not gonna be your conventional superhero tale."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a superhero that's a lawyer. It's a lawyer that's a superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that. They set the tone, which I think angered the audience, where they were like, I don't want to see a big woman fight things. When the show pretty much told you, hey, we're not going down that route at the beginning. And in fairness to the audience, you could have just backed out at that point if you didn't want to see more.
Yeah. Like,
But, yeah.
like,
No, I just want to say up front, because I also think this would be an interesting topic to speak about briefly.
Yeah.
I don't know the actor's name, but whoever plays Jennifer Walters, she's very beautiful.
Tatiana
but,
Maslany.
but she is much more attractive in Hulk form to me.
I think it's the hair. The hair, like, that's the one thing I didn't understand. Like, why did she have, like, curly hair when she's Jennifer Walters, and then straight but wavy hair when she's She-Hulk? I was like, why couldn't you just keep the...
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, because Hulk keeps his, like, you know, curly, short hair.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I do agree.
It might have to do something with the fact that curly hair is a recessive trait and straight hair is a dominant trait. And so when she's Hulk, the dominant traits come out.
Right, if you're playing science like that, I can see it.
Yeah. Did you like the fight between She-Hulk and Hulk?
Yeah, it was very comical, and it was
Yeah.
purposefully made that way. And I liked the I can't remember exactly what the music was, but I loved the music choice.
Oh,
Yeah.
a lot of the music choice in this show was actually really good, and it blended so well. Like I'll talk about a scene later that I was like, oh, that was kind of smart.
Yeah.
But going into this, like, seeing the fight, I was like, okay, they're just trying to one up each other. There's just like sibling rivalry
Yeah.
at this point, just two, like, you know, cousins fighting, and then they smash the bar, and I was like, ah, fuck.
I saw a comment online where it's like, well, if Hulk could stop an entire Chitauri transport, why couldn't he do the same thing to She-Hulk? He's like, he's not trying to kill her.
Yeah, because they're cousins. They're not trying to destroy each other. They're just having a dispute.
It's not like, oh shit, she's trying to destroy the world. I have to do something dramatic.
This guy who commented that was like, if I had a fight with my sister, I would immediately snap her neck. I'm like, it's like, is that what you want? Like, goddamn.
Yeah, I mean, usually when family fights each other, it's not to usually it's not to kill them. It's usually just to make a point or to I don't know if safely is the right word, but safely get out your emotions, anger, aggression, feelings towards them.
Which is a very healthy thing.
Yeah. But he agrees, it's like, yeah, you do have a life and you have to do your own thing.
Yeah, and he fully accepted that.
Yeah.
She's not going through the same thing that I did. And it's selfish of me to think that she should.
Yeah.
And she can go.
Yeah. Oh, before we move on to like the future plot, like forgot to mention that the thing that caused the crash was a ship from Sakaar. So I'm like, are they setting up Planet Hulk and World War Hulk? No, they're not. So, not yet. I don't think they are, because of how it ends. I'm like, oh, that's at least that's not the route the comics went, but you never know what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys can explain this to me, because I'm confused about something. Okay, so the Chitauri ship that caused the crash that attacked them in the very beginning, like, you see Bruce later get on a similar looking ship, like not as a hostage or anything. Like he voluntarily is on this ship and he's out in outer space doing his own thing. Like I don't understand. Like, are these people bad people? Are they good people? Was it just like an off mercenary, or what happened?
Okay, I guess approaching Jane Walter's car wasn't really the best way of like introducing themselves, but I think they were just trying to get Bruce and be like, "Hey, the
have
thing
a
that's
son.
gonna." Damn it! I was gonna. Okay.
You-
You have a son, and we want you to meet him. But again, it's just very odd that they kind of park their ship in front of Jane's car while they're driving, which was very odd.
Who's Jane? You mean Jen?
Jen. Sorry,
Yeah, we're
Jennifer.
not talking about Jen Foster.
Hmm.
But yeah, she goes back to her lawyer life, but like since he already revealed herself to be She-Hulk, her previous firm's like, no, we can't have that. So she does have to take up another job with the government, and they're like, hey, your first defendant is Emil Blonsky, the Abomination. She's like, I can't do that. That's called conflict of interest because he tried to kill my cousin.
Yeah, but as they explained that Emil Blonsky kind of calmed the fact. Mellowed down from
You
probably
don't
12.
deserve this power, dude. Hey, what's up, Jen? You're like, okay.
Yeah.
And he signed a conflict waiver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's not allowed to become the Abomination. Throughout his entire like jail time, he wasn't allowed to be the Abomination.
From
I was like,
2008 to
I
now,
don't,
like,
Yeah.
I don't, because they're where are they, right? Like, so Jen, she practices in California. Where is she?
Yep.
California.
Yeah, okay. So I don't, and obviously, you know, it's a fictional show, whatever. But I don't know the laws in California, but I know that at least in New York, I've never heard of signing a waiver for conflict of interest. If there's a conflict of interest, it's unethical for the lawyer to continue. Like, they can't.
Yeah. That's the weird part.
I guess they kind of threw a lot of law jargon at us. Because, well, I'm not a lawyer. Neither is Enzo. I am pretty sure neither are you. And they're like, I think the audience won't notice.
Like,
Yeah. Or maybe because of the Sokovian Accords and there's actual superheroes and supervillains now, they probably had to change the law up a bit.
I don't know. Like, I only took up one law class and that had everything to do with tourism exclusively, so I wouldn't know about prisoner laws in America. So
I watched 8 seasons of Law and Order. That's all the knowledge I got from
Yeah, but like they show like, hey, Emil Blonsky is a different man. He's a better man, and like everything is going smoothly. And then they're like, hold up, there's this security footage in Macau of him fighting in like a fight club.
Which we saw in Shang-Chi.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we kind of found out like, oh wait, Wong was the one who orchestrated it and was the reason why he left his cell
yeah,
against his free will.
yeah.
So that was a big like, oh, you can't really imprison this guy fully, or you could actually let him out because he really wanted to stay in the cell. He was just forced out of it.
Yeah,
I remember when we saw, I mean we as the general audience, when we saw Shang-Chi and we saw that scene with Abomination and Wong, like it was really confusing because it's like, wait a minute, isn't Abomination in prison? Like, what the fuck is he doing here?
right.
And we didn't get an explanation until now.
Yeah, that was odd
this-
too. I'm like, I have all the places. Why is he here?
Yeah, but we did get like a good explanation where Wong had to fight him as a trial to be Sorcerer Supreme. Where I was like, okay, fine, I get it.
Like, that's a weird chorus. I guess he was panicking. He's like, shit. Strange just disappeared off the face of the map. I must take up his mantle.
Okay, look, we're not gonna go through every, case that Jennifer
Yeah.
Walters
Yeah.
goes through.
Just like the major highlights, but yeah.
Just some major highlights, but I gotta say, I do like the lawyer stuff.
Same here.
After going through Better Call Saul and now I'm watching this is just a way funner Better Call Saul.
Minus the depression.
Minus the depression, minus the money stealing, money laundering, and shit.
It's like, oh look, she's still alive.
Oh, thank God. And I do like the side of the show where they go into like, oh, Jen's trying to date. And like she's going as Jen, and but they're like, no, go as She-Hulk because
Yeah.
that gets more attention. As horrible as it is, it's true.
Like they like She-Hulk more than Jen, which really plays with her psyche. She's like, oh, okay, I see how it is.
Yeah, well, we get to that scene later, but like, she goes on these dates, she meets this guy, and she was doing that trial with that magician guy who's using the mystical arts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not gonna lie, when that buff dude got carried into the bedroom, something changed in me. I was like, I don't know why, but I was like, deep in my psyche, I was like, damn, I wish that was me.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I was
Oh.
like, maybe I do want a big buff woman.
Like one of the other dates was Todd, right? So, but like the instant he starts talking,
Yeah.
no, that's definitely not for Jen.
I do love how it was very self-aware and like, not gonna lie, these guys do exist. Guys like these do exist. And I'm like,
Oh, I met the Todd. We're like, oh, I met.
no, but like you know how her other dates went.
Yeah, I met most of them too. Like,
Yeah. Oh, you met a Todd.
yeah, I've met a Todd.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, and well, John would know what one of the few universities they come from.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
we're talking about that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Right.
You mentioned Enzo very quickly the magician doing the arts or whatever,
Yeah.
like that whole thing with the trial.
Yeah.
Listen, I loved Madison. I loved her. She was fucking amazing.
Well, Madison is cool.
And then when we got, oh god. Okay, I need to compose myself. And then when we got the after credits scene of Madison and Wong just watching Sopranos, I was like someone made a poster of a fake show poster called Madison and Wongers. And it looks like a real poster, but it's not. And I saw this poster and I'm like, listen, you need to make this show. I need to watch it.
As off the rails as that idea is, the chemistry between Wong and Madison, two N's and a Y, it's not where you think it is. It has to happen. For me, I would gladly watch it. Like, I kind of stopped taking the Marvel Cinematic Universe seriously to the point where I was like, you know what? If they make a good, funny show like this one, I'm happy. I'm okay with it as long as they do it right. They don't conflict with like the timeline or the meta of Marvel. Just do it. It's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if they ever do make a Madison and Wongers show, like it doesn't have to do with anything else in the MCU. Like I don't care. I just want this show.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of things that have nothing to do with the MCU, they made Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and that played no part in it, so why can't they make, Madison and Wongers?
Yeah, that's true. Let's just say like there's like a little pocket of space that doesn't really affect the bigger story.
Yeah.
And I'll be happy with it. I wouldn't mind seeing Madison just come in and like Avengers be like, "How you doing?" and then leaves. God bless her.
And like, I do like the fact that since he's Sorcerer Supreme, Strange is like, you know what? This New York stuff with the trial, that's your problem, homie. He's like, oh, okay.
That is true. He took it.
Yeah.
Your responsibility.
Yeah. And then the other, it kind of fell off for me in like interest, the show, I mean, when they started doing the trademark dispute. I'm like, this is kind of boring.
Oh, it was just shit. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I didn't like
Titania.
Yeah.
I didn't like Titania that much.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure the actress of her is pretty great.
I did like the actor for Pugs because I'm like, it's really nice to see a guy go from the Arrowverse to this universe.
Somewhere better.
And if you guys are wondering, if the audience is wondering who he was in Arrow, he was Prometheus. Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, he and I forgot Jen's best friend's name, but they all go off to find a suit for her so she can help her win that trademark. Like, no, she is an original character and it's not Titania's trademark.
Yeah, and I do like that when we do see what's his name, Luke something,
Yeah.
Luke Jacobs,
Yeah.
where he is the guy in California who gets you the clothes for being a superhero.
Yeah.
You do see that it was like, hey, why the hell is this out in the open? What happened to client confidentiality? And then he puts it aside and covers it, and you see it's Daredevil's helmet. I was like,
I'm like,
well, I mean, I saw him in the trailer, but I was like, well, I guess that bald guy in Hell's Kitchen ain't doing it for him, huh?
I guess not. Then again, he's like, I take the bigger clients because they give me money than other than my pro bono work. But we'll get to Matt when we get to Matt. But yeah, like the show kind of slows down when we get to trademark, and then when we get to the wedding, I'm like, can this show kind of pick it up again?
It was a very even Jen says it. She breaks the fourth wall a lot.
Yeah.
She even says like, "Oh yeah, this is a wedding episode.
Yeah.
There's more for me. It's very much filler." I'm like, cool. So I guess she kind of told us like, "Yeah, you can skip this one if you don't want." But
yeah.
there is a plot point here that is important. She does.
See, I think his name's Josh.
Yeah.
I do actually like those episodes, like the wedding episode and the trademark dispute. I like them. I was interested in them. And like the trademark one, when we were watching it, I even said out loud, to Krim, I was like, why don't you just call all your dates in because you went on the app as She-Hulk, and then that's what she did.
Yeah.
So I was really happy about that because I was like, listen, just do this, and then they did it.
And God, that episode destroyed me though with one scene where the guy was like, "Would you have gone out with?" Yeah, you went out with She-Hulk, but would you have gone out with Jennifer Walters? And he's like, "Sad to say, she's not my type, but She-Hulk is amazing." And you just see the life drain out of She-Hulk's face.
For She-Hulk.
That sucks. Well, I've been in that before. Well, I wasn't a Hulk, but like, I've had somebody say that, like, "Hey, I can't really stand your personality, so I'm not really your type. Like, I don't want to date you." So I was like, on the same boat here. I feel you.
It was really important for me to strengthen Jen's case for using the name She-Hulk because he wouldn't have gone out with Jen. He wanted She-Hulk, and she made her profile name She-Hulk. It was very strong.
And yeah, she wins the case, but at the same time, at the cost of her psyche.
Yeah.
But, and then she gets invited to the wedding, which is even worse.
That's weird. That's too weird for me. Like, hey, this person you don't really talk to anymore invited you to a wedding. If I was in her shoes, I'd be like, why? Can I say no? We haven't talked to you in like 5 years.
That's what her friend told her. She was like, "Can't you just say no?"
Yeah.
And what's even worse is that the girl that she used to go to high school with, or like college with, was pretty much a horrible person.
Can you please pick up after us? She's like, why?
Well, because all the staff kind of got fed up with her and just left. And I was like, oh, she's a bridezilla, got it.
It's like, oh, that's a you problem, not a me problem.
Yeah, and then she was like, oh, you're going out with Jonathan. And it's a dog. I was like, this bitch. And I didn't like it. Like, her scene here when she was talking to the guy that she fell for, Joshua or something like that.
Yeah.
She was going out like, oh, the reason why I wanted to come here is because I wanted to talk about me and how great I am and I finally got good work. I got superpowers, and she just wanted to boost herself up. And I was like, that is very human and very relatable. And I see a lot of people in us doing that in the future once we've made it.
Yeah. I was suspicious of Josh right from the very beginning. Like, okay, not like as soon as he talked to her, but in the same episode even, I was actually very suspicious of him, and I felt that he had ulterior motives, and it turned out to be true.
Yeah.
The only reason why I was like, something's gonna happen to Josh, or something is off about Josh. Like at the start, well, I guess y'all got your intuitions, and like I didn't. I was like, this guy's nice. Wait a minute, I got spoiled with the whole Daredevil thing, so something's gonna be up with this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like,
Titanium though in that episode like breaks her own teeth, right?
I love that she slips on ice and immediately eats pavement, and she like stands up. Her teeth are like fucked. I'm like,
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, my veneers."
my veneers.
Oh man.
Oh god.
It's worse because like I've seen it happen to people in real life, and every time I do go, like, oh, you know, I'm a horrible person.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry, if you fall in front of me, I will laugh. Though I don't, I'm not cruel. I'm just like, I'm so sorry while trying to pick you up.
And yeah.
I do like the next episode where Josh does ghost her, and then she has, at the same time, there's an emergency with Emil, right? She has to go to his farm, and she's stuck. And then there's this, I don't know what you call it, this support group talking about their own problems, their own feelings. Like this porcupine guy that refuses to come out of his shell, literally.
Yeah, and there's this vampire guy. And I love the vampire guy. Oh my god.
And then there's the guy that jumped her like earlier on the show. He's like, "Oh shit, you're here."
Yeah, and he is a changed man. And, and I give it to Emil Blonsky here. He did make the support group, and it is working. They are trying to heal each other. And I'm like, wow, this is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Well, she's kind of like hung up about this guy who hasn't texted her back yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really nice actually to see that, you know, Emil was very genuine. You know, that he wasn't trying to trick anyone, you know, like with the parole board and everything. You know, that he said that, you know, he had the support of his girlfriends, and that he wanted to start this, you know, spiritual retreat or whatever, and then he gets released and he does it, and he's helping people, and he's like genuine in doing it. And I actually really liked that they kept it that way, that like it wasn't like a trick or anything. I like that it was real.
Yeah, I like it that Emil Blonsky legitimately was a changed man, and I was like, all right, you know, I accept all that happens to me, and like all the wrong things I've done, I will repent.
Yeah.
But I sorry to say, I do miss the Emil Blonsky that was in the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
I miss this. Yeah.
He explained though, you know, that he was hired by the government to take out the Hulk. You know, he thought he was the good guy.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just miss the special ops guy who stood like, who looked, you know,
Hulk
at
in the
the Hulk. Yeah, in the eyes, and just like, fuck you, and then gets kicked and wrapped around the tree. I miss that guy.
Yeah.
But okay, me and Enzo were talking about this before the review. I love Emil Blonsky's character here, but I think I would have loved him more if I didn't watch The Incredible.
Yeah.
Because his character there as Emil Blonsky was so good. As this guy who would pretty much fight a god just to, you know, and try to best him at his own thing. I'm like, I like this character.
It's the same thing I have with the Hawk, where since 2008 onwards, I'm like, is it me or is he getting tamer?
He's getting tamer and he's getting smaller.
Yeah. Like, that's weird. I always thought you were bigger.
But at this point, Marvel, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Just do your thing.
Like when Hulk walks up, like in the last episode when he walks up to Abomination, I'm like, I could have sworn you two were the same size.
Mm-hmm.
But
You pulling out his spinal cord and pushing his pointy elbow into his back.
yeah, but like that's
I
2008.
think they also made Hulk smaller too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, that's what you were saying. It's like Abomination stayed the same size while Hulk shrunk.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying like the opposite.
I don't know.
But yeah, I do like Jen opening up. Like, people prefer She-Hulk over Jen, and I wish it was the opposite. You're like, oh.
Mm. And the vampire guy was like, you know what? She-Hulk's amazing, but I think Jen's pretty great. And you probably have good blood too. Fuck shit. Help. Somebody get me out of this. And I was like so hard on that scene. I was like,
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Where he immediately recoiled and just like, help me.
Do you like when she's talking to them, like, oh, I texted him this, and you're like, why would you do that?
But that's so relatable.
Yeah.
Like, you've had those talks with your friends when you're just talking to your crush and you're like, why did you check up on him? No, you're supposed to leave it alone. Like, the whole dating world is such a mess. And it's such a jungle that is very real.
Yeah, I despise all the real life bullshit that comes with like the beginning of dating someone.
Mhm.
I hate that shit
Same here.
so much.
Same here.
I wouldn't know, because if you guys didn't know, look at
Shut the fuck up.
look at our Avengers Infinity War video to see why.
Yeah.
But yeah, I won't run that joke to the ground. But yeah, they also get her to delete and block the number, right? Or just
Mhm.
delete.
Delete the
It deletes it.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good moment. Like, as small as this episode is, I feel good for Jen.
Yeah. Like, I was like, oh, this is healing. Good for her.
And then you find out why Josh was ghosting her. Like, oh shit, he is a douchebag.
Yeah. There we go. He pretty much. What did he do? Like, he scanned her phone up.
Take her blood. Or,
He recorded them having sex and took her blood.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then we get to my favorite episode, episode 8. And then it
Yeah.
starts with Leapfrog. You're like, oh, I remember reading him somewhere.
This fucking idiot. Where he pretty much puts jet fuel instead of the mandatory regular fuel that Luke Jacobs told him to put.
Yeah.
And now he was suing him for faulty equipment.
Yeah. And like,
Yeah.
of course, since the guy is a big client of Jen's firm, you're like, hey, you have to go against Luke. And she goes to Luke and he's like, can you just admit responsibility? She's like, how dare you? There's the gala dress. She's like, oh, I'll see you in court.
No, well, because if y'all don't know, he's the one who makes her suits, makes the clothes that fits her and her as She-Hulk as well. So, she kind of was reluctant. But I guess ripping the gala dress pushed it to the edge.
Yeah, I guess. And then they are in court, and they're like, hey, Mr. Jacobson, do you not have your lawyer? Are you defending yourself? Like, no, I have my lawyer. And then in comes Matt Murdock, like, Jesus Christ.
I called it because I was like, oh, they're suing Luke Jacobs. Fuck. Wait. He makes a suit for a specific lawyer that I know that's across the continent of America.
And like, Matt Murdock comes in, he's like, I'm sorry, I couldn't find parking. And the judge is like, I'm just kidding.
Blind jokes.
But like, as he's talking lawyer stuff, I'm like, this guy, Charlie Cox, has never skipped a beat. Because Jesus Christ, I feel like I'm watching the Netflix show, a bit lighter, but it still feels like I'm watching an episode of Daredevil.
Minus a black eye, a bloody nose, and scratches on his face. Yeah.
Comes in like, I'm sorry, Your Honor. Like, what happened to you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't watched Daredevil, so
Oh.
I knew, like, I knew of the character. I've known of the character. I've known that he is Matt Murdock, that he plays Daredevil, especially when he showed up in Spider-Man and everything. So I like knew who he was and the actor that played him and everything. But my only experience with Daredevil was the
Ben
Ben
Affleck.
Affleck movie.
Affleck.
Nice choice.
Jesus
Uh,
Christ. But yeah, it's just when he's talking, I'm like, I feel like I'm back in 2015 all over again.
but yeah, like his remarks and how he talks back to Jen, and Jen, like taken aback by it, like, who's this asshole? And he's
Yeah.
like, not gonna lie, this is a very persuasive asshole.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, Matt Murdock wins the case, well, because the idiot reveals that he was putting jet fuel into a product that's not supposed to take in jet fuel,
Yeah.
thus causing the accident, thus making Luke Jacobs
Innocent.
win. Win the trial.
Just over like a clean victor, not even like no questions asked. Like, no, you're an idiot. And Jen's, he's like, am I going to jail? Jen's like, I would like you to.
I will. Yeah. I wish an actual lawyer could say that. Like, you know what? You're so much of an idiot that I wish you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually in civil cases there's no criminal charges pressed for anything, because it's not a criminal trial, it's a civil trial.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, also interestingly, you learned that the Sokovian Accords have been repealed. Like, that makes sense, especially after Endgame, where like these people saved our lives and the universe. Let's not stalk them or make them do what they don't want to do.
Yeah, but that also let out free reign with like other superhumans or metahumans
Yeah.
to just be a vigilante or abuse their power. Like that guy who doesn't die
Yeah.
and having like multiple wives.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Mr. Immortal. We forgot to mention that there's a mutant in this show. Like, that's interesting. Like,
Yeah,
they're
and that's-
slowly building up the mutants in the MCU.
Yeah, and that scene was funny where her best friend had to pretty much cut up like an agreement. Like,
Yeah.
okay, you get money, you get an apology with 20 seconds eye contact. It was like, that's it.
Yeah, and before moving forward, I do like the actress who is the lawyer for Jen's lawyer for the trademark, because she was in Hamilton. I believe so.
I gotta lie, she was very pretty. I was like, why are
Like,
you honestly
Yeah.
pretty?
I don't know exactly like what Marvel's like full plans are or whatever, like if they've announced them, whatever the case may be. But I think that the X-Men are not going to be official like MCU people until 2 years from now, when Deadpool 3 comes out.
Yeah, I believe that's so. Even Jen kind of like hinted at like, oh, when's the X-Men come in? When, oh, she even hinted at the Red Hulk guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, she gets a phone call from Todd, and he's just gloating about him buying illegal Wakandan gear. It's like, I am very proud of Wakanda. I even studied there about Wakanda forever. It's like, I'm uncomfortable.
No, okay, no. Look, people can do the whole Wakanda forever.
It's just the spirit of like, I bought your stuff illegally.
Yeah, it's the fact that he bought something. It's kind of like the British Museum being like, "Hey, we love African culture.
We
That's
love
why we
keeping
stole
it.
Yeah, that's why we stole their stuff." And they start saying the N word. Like,
There's so much stolen property in the fucking British Museum. This shit's crazy.
yes, man.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if
Like-
you guys saw that episode of John Oliver where he's talking about museums
Yep,
and stolen.
yep.
Yeah. You're like, Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
I haven't seen that yet.
I'll send it to you
Yeah,
later.
I saw it.
Yes, please.
Yeah. But no, she gets another call from Leapfrog. He's like, help, someone's attacking me. It's like, where are you going? Like, I'm going to the lily pond. Like, Jesus Christ, this fucking guy.
This guy.
Yeah, the lily pad.
And yeah, and Jen like finally uses the suit that Luke gave her,
Yeah.
and she goes out to save Leapfrog guy, whatever his name was. What was his catchphrase?
R- Something and
Rickety rickety whack or something like that.
Yeah.
But she gets there, and you see the guy who's attacking him, and it's Matt Murdock. I was like, and his song like plays. I was like, this is really cool.
Yeah, she stops the car and the guy's like, my car. Like, that's the least of your worries, sir.
Yeah, and though this is our first time seeing Matt Murdock fight in the MCU, not as a Netflix show where it's a little bit more gritty. Here, he's a way more flashy.
Yeah.
A little bit cleaner, but yeah.
Yeah, like I do like it when an aerobatic type fights like hulking type, like Nightwing and Solomon Grundy. I'm not saying she's like Solomon Grundy. I'm saying she's very powerful.
No, she's very Solomon Grundy, being brute,
I mean,
big.
not in terms of like smarts. She's definitely smarter.
No, yes. But give it to me.
You know what I just thought of?
Hmm.
It's a little off topic, but not really.
Go ahead.
Because whatever the actor's name is that plays Captain Marvel, that is like no longer in the MCU or something, right? Like they fired her or something. I think.
Know that.
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. But regardless, I'm excited to see the introduction of the X-Men in the MCU because I want to see Rogue kill Captain Marvel.
Did that?
Because in the comics and the old school Fox cartoon, Rogue is able to fly and she has super strength. And the thing with Rogue, how her mutant powers works, is that if she touches a mutant, she absorbs their powers temporarily.
And
if
she takes away their part. Yeah, sorry.
Right, temporarily.
Yeah.
If she uses her power to the point where she kills them, she kills them, and she does that to a mutant, then she permanently gains their powers. And that's how she kills Captain Marvel, and that's why she's able to fly and has super strength.
I want to see that.
Yeah.
I do too.
No offense to the
Rogue was my
character of Captain
favorite.
Marvel.
Like, Rogue was my favorite character back in the day, like when I was watching the cartoons and shit. And I absolutely loved her, and I hate what they did with her in the X-Men movies because she was like so lame.
Yeah.
She was very nerfed, you know?
I love Rogue, so I want to see like that part in her story where she kills Captain Marvel and gets her powers.
That'd be interesting to see.
I would love to see that.
No, going back to Jen, like when she knocks Matt Murdock into the car, he's like, "You want to farce an ass beating in turn? This is not the worst I've had." Yeah,
but I kind of feel bad though because Jen does toss a very nice Lexus at him. I was like, wait, okay. As a car guy, I was like,
yeah, and then removes his mask, and he's like, "Oh, hello." He's like, "Are you actually blind?" So we're not. That's very problematic. He's like, no, I.
No, that's kind of messed up that you're you're portraying a blind dude. And I was like, no, I really am.
And when the theme hit, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Again, I'm back in 2015, just having the time of my life watching Daredevil.
She was like, what are you, Golden Devil? And then you just hear the theme, was like, no, I'm Daredevil. But yeah, street level superheroes don't really get that much recognition, I guess.
No.
No, I'm sorry. It is actually Miss Marvel. It's not Captain Marvel. She kills Miss Marvel.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Black suit, yellow lightning bolt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then they track, he tells her, like, no, the situation is that your client has kidnapped my client, and that's why I was attacking him. Like, I'm sorry for thinking the guy with the devil look was the bad guy. He's like, fair enough.
I love the quips. I love I love everything. Also, they had a scene at a bar where he buys her a drink.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Charlie Cox being Matt Murdock, okay, since you haven't watched the show yet, Hazel, Matt Murdock is a fuckboy. The man got moves like nobody's business.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, too. I was like, Woo, you smooth. For a blind guy, you smooth. Shit.
And
Like,
then
okay.
Might have to do with it.
I don't know. Just he's
Uh,
smooth.
they go to the lily pad and they try to strategize how are they going to do this, but at the same time you can tell like Jen has a thing for Matt. But why wouldn't you?
Yeah, she's oddly like getting more attracted to him, and I can see why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, alright.
Yeah. But he's like, I do stealth and that's the way to go. He's like, no, I do smash. And that's the way to go. And he's like, well, they have guns, Jennifer. She's like, well, I'm indestructible, Matthew. Like, this is fun banter.
Yeah. And he like leaps out and was like, just follow my lead. And she was like a little bit turned on by that. I'm like, oh, okay.
And then these guys with the crossbows are talking about, how do you not know what a baby frog's called? And the guy gets to eat shit.
Dude, I laughed so hard knowing the fact that these goons were using crossbows that were like themed for the frog guy. I was like, oh, these poor guys, they had no chance.
The guy just eats shit and then the door just opens and another guy eats shit. It's like, Jesus Christ.
I will say, I was like, oh, I wanted to see Matt Murdock kick ass again, like the hallway scene where he's like in the dark, him being Daredevil, and we're like, oh shit, he's gonna do that Matt Murdock thing in like the hallway scene. But of course, She-Hulk crashes through the roof, and we don't get to see it.
He kind of does with the first four, where he's still as brutal as he was on Netflix. Like, fuck, Jesus Christ, because he cracked the guy over the head.
Yeah, but like you saw him like in the dark, just like staring at the crowd of guys. I was like, oh, let's go, and then it ends. So I was like,
Yeah,
you know what? It isn't this show.
yeah,
You know, let's save it for his show.
yeah. Like he doesn't need to toss any microwaves this time.
I forgot about that. The guy off screen gets tossed with a microwave.
And Netflix, I mean, like season 1, the guy's like, I can still go bong.
Yeah, you just see like a microwave come out of nowhere.
Oh man, I should rewatch Daredevil someday.
Same here.
Yeah. But yeah, they go to confront Leapfrog and save Luke Jacobson, and at the same time you see Matt just beating the shit out of people. We're like, yeah, he's never missed a beat. I miss Charlie Cox as Daredevil. Like she's trying to tell Leapfrog like, this is how we can approach your defense, and Max just brutally kicking someone. Like, I remember this so well.
Yeah, they're like fond memories, core memories opening up.
Yeah. Guy tries to attack She-Hulk with a bat. She's like, really now?
She was like, it is sad you thought that was gonna work.
Yeah, like, dude knows there's a Hulk in the universe, and that definitely wouldn't work on him. Why the fuck does he think it's gonna work on her?
You tried. You know? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, you know?
And then he sees, like, I don't have a chance against She-Hulk, and definitely not against Daredevil. And he tries, like, rip it, and just breaks his leg, kind of jump off the window.
I love it that he just continuously screams.
It's another weird comment. Like, I kind of wanted them to get a bit of help from the Punisher. I'm like, why? Why would these poor people who are not hardened criminals just get the worst of punishment?
Jen will just have a really big problem in her hands if she had to explain what the fuck happened to these guys after the Punisher came.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, why would you want these henchmen to eat 50 caliber bullets, sir? No, that's not the show.
Yeah, right? So.
Yeah, they hook up on the roof because Matt's like, yeah, sticking around for the police. It's not my thing. Just smart because he might be like, oh shit, Kingpin has a price on my head. I better lay low.
You know what? I respect Matt Murdock here. Because he was like, hey, when I come back to LA, I would like to take you out for dinner. And she was like, yeah, he had the courtesy to be like, I want to take this slow, but nah. I was like, nah, let's skip all that. And I was like, all right.
Like, damn, got Rosario Dawson and Deborah Ann Wool. Now it's She-Hulk.
Right? Electra as well.
And
And Electra?
Yeah.
Yeah. And them saying, oh, he did the walk of shame, you know, like going outside the house after sex. That was not a walk of shame. That man was happy.
Yeah. And then the episode doesn't end. You're like, yeah, Jen, this is strange. Like, what's gonna happen? Is the Red Hulk gonna appear? I forgot what she
Mhm.
says. And then it goes on. She gets the reward for being the Lord of the Year, but it gets hacked by intelligentsia, and you're like, She-Hulk isn't who she says she is, and she's a slut. You're like, okay.
Saying that, oh, also she's a slut. Made me laugh so hard because it is just like a redditor.
Yeah.
It's just angry at the world, or just some kid on Twitter is like, "Fuck you, fuck
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
fuck this world."
And then they show that Josh did record them having the sex, and then she gets mad, and then she breaks the screen and goes after someone she thinks is part of
The sex.
Yeah, the sex.
the same.
I do love it that Enzo every time he tries to mention a sex scene, it's always when they do the sex. It's like, man, you're not running into your parents' room or some shit like that. Come on, you can just say sex.
Well, yeah, she goes out of control for a bit, and she's confronted by damage control, and then you're like, how is this show gonna end then?
Hmm.
I-
And the fact that like she was like, oh, she's a irresponsible hoe. She goes crazy when she gets mad enough.
Yeah.
Well, okay. One.
And then, like, I do like before that she does mention the Red Hulk, especially with like the casting now with Harrison Ford maybe being Thunderbolt Ross. You're like, that'd be interesting seeing Harrison face on a Red Hulk.
Yep.
But yeah, her life is completely turned upside down. She's like, just when thought I was getting used to being Jen and She-Hulk, this shit happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens next? She goes to Emil Blonsky's space to find some sort of normalcy or peace, and at the same time, her best friend and Bugs are investigating intelligentsia, which all lead them to the same place where she's like, "Come on, Bugs, be a toxic predator. You can do it."
Yeah. And then I love this scene so much where they're inside like the barn.
Yeah.
You're just listening to Twitter remarks and like
Right.
very
I've heard those conversations. Like, I can't believe there's a female Thor now. Come on, like.
right. Why is there a She-Hulk? Is there a He-Hulk? It's like they're just throwing shit at the internet. And I was like, oh, I love this. Yes.
Did anybody else feel like the intelligence he has seen in the barn was like I don't know how to phrase it. It was very reminiscent of like a KKK gathering.
Yes.
Oh,
But
man.
instead of just like white supremacists, it's just very incelly men.
Yeah, dude, bro is being angry. Like, of
Dude,
course.
bro's being angry because they can't get the girl that they want and some
Like,
shit like
she
that.
didn't even earn her power. It was nepotism. Like, shut up.
It was nepotism. And then they were like, yeah, that's right. I was like, this is just the internet. This is just Twitter. But in real life, where there's no screen in front of you.
Don't forget to talk about women's, but instead of saying women, say the females. You're like,
Yeah, don't call girls. Don't call girls girls. Call them females. And I was like, oh no.
That's horribly disrespectful.
Yes, but it's so real. You see those.
I've
you
had
see those posts.
some of those conversations. Like, why don't you like female Jane Foster as Thor? And then gives the exact answer these people give. Like, but she does earn it. She really does. In the comics, she does.
Mm.
And in the movie,
So-
she does. And that's the only. I'm saying this because that's the only thing about Thor: Love and Thunder that I like.
Yeah. It's so. I don't know. I just like it that they throw shade at the incel boys
I-
who are too infatuated with the plot of Marvel or the lore of Marvel that they're like, how dare you ruin our precious thing
With women,
with women? I was like, they were always there, you asshats.
yeah. There's no phase female. Like, shut the fuck up. But no, I told Jomar this before the review that I thought the main leader would be the scientist. I forget the actor's name. The scientist guy who in the Incredible Hulk had stuff dripping on him and is now the leader. I'm like, that would make sense because of why he's angry. Because it's like, oh, why did she get the spotlight and not me? I also have the same powers. but I'm smarter. Like, of course, the leader would be that petty. No, the leader's thought. Like, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, no, but it's in character.
Yeah. Though when the abomination comes in, my heart sunk. I'm like, no, you're a dirtbag. No, it's
Yeah, I also thought I was like, oh fuck. I
yeah.
thought he was gonna change, and like, oh no, he probably runs the show as well. Nah, he's actually just doing it for cash. I was like, oh,
Then again, like,
okay,
why would
respect.
you? Did he not read the program? Like, oh no, it's against Jen. I don't want to do this no more.
Probably not, but I guess if you're just renting out your place and being a public speaker,
Yeah, unless they told them, they never told them the details of what they're talking about, which makes sense.
Hmm.
But yeah, Jen's there. I think her name.
And plus, I'm pretty sure Emil Blonsky doesn't know shit about them because he doesn't have internet.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything comes to head because Jen's there.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, yeah, I'm sorry, Enzo, but you guys are definitely right about that. Like how, Emil Blonsky, he doesn't have the internet, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Because I definitely got that feel. Like that he didn't know what the meeting was. He was just hired for, like, an inspirational speech.
And I was like, yeah, there you go. And they were kind of going against the Hulk, and this is a Hulk villain. So I guess that's why they hired him.
Yeah. But yeah, Jen's there. Pugs and I think her name's Nikki. Or, yeah, Nikki's there.
Yes.
And then the Todd reveals, like, oh, I have super soldier serum or Hulk blood. Now I am the Hulk.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, I guess we're going down that route.
Like-
And she kind of stops it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you see Bruce come in, you see
Titania.
Titania come in, you see Abomination being like, oh wait, there's a misunderstanding, I'm not hurting your cousin.
Yeah.
And then she breaks the fourth wall, goes into Disney Plus, and goes into
Marvel.
Disney,
Yeah.
Marvel Disney, and just walks around and meets Kevin. And I'm guessing this is a jab at Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
He's just a robot.
The cap is a dead giveaway. You're like, yeah, that's definitely Kevin Feige.
Yeah. I mean, really, Kevin.
That and like
The cap was a dead giveaway, not the name Kevin.
both
I
the
mean,
name and the cap.
He's just making fun of himself.
Yeah. He was and him saying that like, hey, I am the perfect. I can make the perfect formula to make the right superhero movie, and then Jen just going like, no, this is weird. This is wrong. You're pretty much recycling old material.
Yeah, Captain America, First Avenger, bullshit.
Yeah, and also the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though I do like when he's like, before we talk, can you transform into Jen off screen because the budget is no longer there for the visual effects for your show, and you're like, oh, and you hear Wakandan music, like, oh right, that's next.
I love it. It was like, can you turn back into Jen? Why? It's expensive. I was like, okay. I was like, okay, that makes sense. And they cut.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah. It's like in Infinity War, it's like we need help, and then from who? Enter Wakandan music, like, oh, Black Panther.
Yep.
Tells him to correct all the mistakes, like just make Emil Blonsky, what do you call this? Own up to his mistakes. Like this was a big mistake. Don't give Todd the superpowers. Don't make Bruce show up out of nowhere. Just drop from the sky and make no sense at all.
Yeah, but bring back Matt Murdock because the girl's got her needs.
Like I
I
don't
love
blame
that.
you.
I don't blame you. Man oozes sex appeal.
Yeah. And like, you know what? This is what I do. Hulk smashes buildings, I smash fourth walls, and Matt Murdock sometimes.
Yeah, that shit was funny as hell.
I was like, girls really taking pride with like fucking Charlie Cox, or sorry, fucking Matt Murdock. I was like, right on.
And then they go back to the farm, and Emil Blonsky is being brought back to prison because, like, hey, you turn back to the abomination, and that's part of your contract. Like, you're not supposed to do that, so you're going back to jail.
And I like it that Emil Blonsky was like, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I deserve it.
And then Jan's like to Todd, like, I'll see you in court. He's like, Okay.
Yeah, and she goes off with Matt Murdock.
Yeah, Matt Murdock just appears out of nowhere, and no one's like, that's the devil of Hell's Kitchen. How
Yeah.
much did Kingpin put up? No, it's pretty wholesome though.
Yeah, it is. Where he meets the parents, and they might continue this relationship, I guess.
I wouldn't mind lawyer and lawyer.
Yeah, and like, I don't know, it works well. One's a brute, gigantic tank,
Yeah,
while the other's a very athletic, nimble ninja.
yeah. I do like the dad being like, so you don't make money? He's like, Dad, no.
No, because he is a pro bono guy, kind of guy.
Yeah,
Like he leans towards that more than
again,
getting bigger clients.
keeping in continuity with Netflix.
Sorry.
Yeah, he makes money, but he's not for profit.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Like I do like that they kept that continuity from Netflix. Like, yeah, this is the Matt Murdock we know from Netflix.
Yep.
And then Hulk appears is like, oh, guess what? I have a son.
Yeah, and I was like, what?
Yeah, so like, is his son like permanent Hulk or something?
No,
Okay.
I mean, okay, no pun intended. Well, who did Hulk smash in Sakar?
I forgot her name, and I think if I'm keeping up with comics, again, this is not the MCU, but comics, he is forever a Hulk. From
Okay.
from birth to adulthood, and I forgot
Okay.
his lover's name, but it just bugs me that I can't remember because I do love the storylines of Planet Hulk and World War Hulk, and I thought they were setting up here, but no, it's just all love and peace. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess they'll never do that then.
Okay.
Yeah, Jen gets her old job back and everything is right with the world, and she's with Matt Murdock, so that's a very big plus.
Mm-hmm. But we also get like an after credit scene where Neil Blonsky gets pretty much accepts the deal from Wong. Like, hey, I'll take that deal where you want me to stay with you at Cabotage.
Yeah. Surprise, Strange isn't bothered. He's like, isn't Banner his enemy? No, it's fine. Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, this guy's chill. He's trying to make money.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, this was divisive because every time the new episode appeared, people just complain about it from both sides. You're like, okay. Especially, there are people who were saying that this show ruined Daredevil. I'm like, I don't see how. This is the same. Yeah, the show itself is very light in tone, but he's literally the same guy. Because,
Yeah.
forgot who pointed that out on Twitter, but if you don't know, there are times that Wolverine does pop up in Miss Marvel, and he is still the same.
Sweet. Yeah, he's still the same, but a
He's-
little bit sweet.
Yeah, like that's how comics work, and that's how you keep the universe alive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, people get mad that, like, why aren't the worlds colliding together? And, why don't we see this X character with this X character? And then when it does happen, they're like, you ruined it.
like why isn't She-Hulk a raging monster? It's like, well, that's not the story they want to tell.
Yeah. Why is this not like a regular superhero show? Well, again, that's not what they want to tell.
Yeah, and like there are just people mad at the show because it's led by a woman, and that's stupid.
I mean, well, this show did poke fun at that person or persons
yeah.
at one episode, so good on you.
Yeah.
Good on you, show.
Those people on the internet did explode after that episode. I'm like, ah.
Like, how dare you expose me?
But yeah, all that being said, what would you rate this show?
Okay. I could see that people are very divisive on this show. Would I say this is a perfect show? No. Would this show beat probably, Falcon and Winter Soldier? No. Is it fun? Very so.
Yeah.
I had a good time watching this. I didn't feel bored at all. Sure, there are some fillers, but it's funny. So that was great. I love seeing Matt Murdock and him being fully introduced to the MCU now, and how he works within the MCU. That's great. Like, support cast were great. Jen was great. She-Hulk was great. Shit was funny. There are some stuff where I was like, like, again, with the fillers, some parts in the fillers were kind of . But overall, I just had a fun time. The ending is a little bit off for me. I don't like it that they just kind of cut the ending and they were like, oh, nope, this is how we end it. It was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm giving this one probably a 7. 7 out of 10. Like, it's pretty fun. I suggest any newcomer to the MCU watch this show. Don't listen to the internet.
Yeah.
Because for sure this show doesn't either. So,
Yeah, I'll also give this a 7 out of 10. Like, I did enjoy my time. Like, there are a few episodes that I thought were like, can we go a bit faster, like with Trademark and the wedding. But like overall, I had a good time. I thought Tatiana Maslany was a great She-Hulk, and I am happy with the rumors that she might pop up in Captain America 4 and Daredevil. So I'm very happy about that. And yeah, the supporting characters were pretty cool too. And again, it's nice seeing someone from Hamilton become part of the MCU. Like, I like to play, and nice to see you doing other stuff too, especially with, and also Pogs. I'm like, yeah, from Arrowverse to MCU, that's a pretty good choice. And even though Emil Blunt is a bit tamer, like, I'll accept that. Like, sure. And of course,
we'll give it a try.
and the fact that Daredevil is the same character from 2015, I'm like, that just makes my heart very happy, because I do love the Daredevil character. But yeah, 7 out of 10, as Drummer said, is it up there with like Infinity War, Endgame, and The Winter Soldier? No. And then with the shows, is it WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier level? Not for me. But like, it's a very fun time. I said it's as fun as a vibe as Ant-Man. We're like, just relax, have fun, and just have a good time. But yeah.
Yeah.
Hazel?
How about you, Hazel?
Yeah, I really liked the show. I thought that like every episode was adding more and was getting better, except the finale. I was really disappointed with the finale, and I just didn't like it at all. I mean, the jokes were funny, and I enjoyed the jokes, whatever, but just as the finale, it fucking sucked. Like, there were episodes in the middle of the season that were way better than the finale.
Yep.
Like, it didn't hit like a season finale should hit. It was mediocre and bland and stupid. I fucking hated the finale, and that really disappointed me and really upset me because of how I felt about all the other episodes. I think all the other episodes are great, fantastic. I love them. I was interested and entertained. Finale fucking sucks cock.
It was Charlie cut.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 as well. But it's like I was eating a watermelon that suddenly turned into a lemon. I fucking hate this.
Yeah. Yeah, like you're enjoying it, and then it's like, I wish they took that better. And it's so odd that they kind of went meta with it, where she was like, "Oh, this isn't how the ending's supposed to end because it's so mediocre and lazy writing. So let's replace it with mediocrity and lazy writing."
Yeah, like, huh?
Yeah. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, like, I mean, it was cool that they were kind of like poking fun at themselves, and like that's cool. I like it when, studios do that, or people do that to themselves, whatever. I like that. But the thing is, you didn't have to do any of that. You could have just made a proper finale. You didn't have to like go into some bullshit that's like, hey, I don't want this to be the finale of my show. So I'm gonna go into Disney and complain to the creator and blah 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 blah. Just make it different. Don't do any of that, and make it different and filled with more substance.
Yeah. And I really hope that's not like an ongoing gag. Like when we get Deadpool with Wolverine, I really hope we don't get that.
Oh god, I hope that they don't do that
Yeah.
either. But yeah, questions. If you have seen every comic book show this year, what would you rank the show with? Or how would you rank them?
For this year?
Yeah.
I
So
would say
oh,
it
go
was
ahead.
like Hawkeye came out this year, right?
No, that was last year. It was in December.
What was it? Damn.
Right?
Yeah.
I guess it's still in that kind of odd spectrum.
Yeah.
Of like,
I have a
Marvel
list
shows.
of like Marvel shows that came out this year. There's Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, and this one. And then for DC it was Peacemaker.
Okay. I would say within this, I would say Hawkeye, Moon Knight, She-Hulk.
Uh,
And then, yeah, so first below is Miss Marvel.
I would go if I'm going with all of them. I would go Peacemaker first, and then
Mm.
Moon Knight, and then She-Hulk, and then Miss Marvel.
Mm.
How about you, Hazel?
Well, I haven't seen Peacemaker, and it's not even Marvel, so. But like the Marvel shows that have come out, and including Hawkeye, because you said it was December, so close enough. Let me see. So Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, Moonlight, and then this. I want to put Moonlight on the bottom, then Miss Marvel, God damn it. Sorry.
It's all good.
All good.
Moon Knight on the bottom,
Okay.
and then She-Hulk, and then Miss Marvel, and then Arrow. Or, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Mm.
And yeah,
It's late at night, I'm sorry.
It's
That's fine.
okay.
yeah, and I think next year is Loki season 2, yay, and Secret Invasion, which I am looking forward to both. But yeah, that's been our video on She-Hulk. What other MCU characters or Marvel characters in general do you think deserve their own show? Some have talked about Squirrel Girl for the longest time. I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah. Like I kind of want to stop taking Marvel too seriously now and just let them do what they want to do.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go out my way to be like, oh, it wasn't like what it used to be.
I also
Just
forgot to
let them do what
mention next year is the new animated X-Men show, so I am really looking forward to that.
Yes.
But yeah, and yeah, if you want to find more of us on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We have a Facebook, TikTok, and Spotify, all under the same name. Facebook to see us react to trailers, stream video games, and about our lives from time to time. Spotify to hear us on the go, and TikTok to see our funniest and best moments. Individually, you can find me at Gandalf95 on IG and Twitter. How about you guys?
Oh, you can find me at John GEOM _ on Instagram. It is my art account. How about you, Hazel?
Sapphire Hazel and the number 7 for IG and Twitter. And then just Sapphire Hazel for YouTube and Twitch. And I just want to say we're recording this on the 15th/16th, and for anyone who's interested, I will be streaming Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 campaign on the 20th on Twitch, and then I'll be uploading that VOD to YouTube, just so if anyone's interested, you can stop by and say hello, whatever.
Alright.
Alright. But yeah, that's all the time we have for this video at least. We'll see you all on the next one. Bye everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.